parallel account of the incident surrounding the census reveals it was Satan who incited David to take the census.
Satan rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census of Israel. So David said to Joab and the commanders of the troops, "Go and count the Israelites from Beersheba to Dan. Then report back to me so that I may know how many there are."
However, the wording of 2 Samuel 24 verse 1 says that it was God who moved David to take the census.
Again the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he incited David against them, saying, "Go and take a census of Israel and Judah."
This discrepancy can be explained by the understanding that sometimes God sovereignly permits Satan to act in order to achieve his purposes. God uses Satan in various ways, among them the refining, disciplining, and purification of disobedient believers.
Simon, Simon, Satan is asked to sift all of you as wheat, but I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. It is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you, and of a kind that even pagans do not tolerate. A man is sleeping with his father's wife, and you are proud? Shouldn't you rather have gone into mourning and have put out of your fellowship the man who has been doing this? For my part, even though I am not physically present, I am with you in spirit. As one who is present with you in this way, I have already passed judgment in the name of our Lord Jesus on the one who has been doing this. So when you are assembled, and I am with you in spirit, and the power of our Lord Jesus is present, hand this man over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, so that his spirit may be saved on the day of the Lord, or because of these surpassingly great revelations. Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults and hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
Such is the case with David. God allowed Satan to tempt him, and David sinned, revealing his pride and allowing God to deal with him for it. As to why God was angry at David, in those times a man only had the right to count or number what belonged to him. Israel did not belong to David. Israel belonged to God.
Then the Lord said to Moses, "When you take a census of the Israelites to count them, each one must pay the Lord a ransom for his life at the time he is counted. Then no plague will come on them when you number them."
It was up to God to command a census, and if David counted, he should only do it at God's command, receiving a ransom to atone for the counting. This is why God was angry again with Israel, and is also why David was conscience-stricken after he counted Israel. David knew it was wrong, and begged God to take away the guilt of his sin.
David was conscience-stricken after he had counted the fighting men, and he said to the Lord, "I have sinned greatly in what I have done. Now, Lord, I beg you, take away the guilt of your servant. I have done a very foolish thing."